Hey Shark fans, it's Melinda Marsalis. Welcome to Heard It on the Shark. I'll be your show host, and Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area is your show sponsor. Heard It on the Shark is a weekly interview show that airs every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on the Shark 102.3 FM radio station based in Ripley, Mississippi. Then it's released as a podcast on all the major podcast platforms. You'll hear interviews with the movers and shakers in North Mississippi who are making things happen. I'll talk to entrepreneurs, leaders of business, medicine, education, and the people behind all the amazing things happening in North Mississippi. When people ask you, how did you know about that? You'll say, I heard it on the Shark. Heard It on the Shark is brought to you by the Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area. We want you to get out and discover the historic, cultural, natural, scenic, and recreational treasures of the Mississippi Hills that are right in your backyard. And of course, we want you to take the Shark 102.3 FM along for the ride. Musical credit belongs to Hill Country Blues guitar legend Gary Burnside and the late great Buddy Grisham, playing Long Way Home from their album Acoustic Brothers, which was recorded at Sun Bear Studio in Ripley, Mississippi.
This program was recorded at Sun Bear Studio in Ripley, Mississippi.
Hey Shark fans, it's Melinda with another episode of Heard It on the Shark, and today in Sun Bear Studio, I am so excited to have Michael Harrison of CMH Sports. You know, Michael brings us our Tippah County Sports all year long through his CMH Sports Mixler account, and we broadcast it out on the Shark to you. So we're going to do a little recap and a little looking forward with Michael today. Mike, thanks for coming over.
Well, thank you, Melinda. It's always good to get to visit with you and to be on the Shark 102.3.
Okay, now you're pretty famous for your excitement that you bring to any kind of game.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate all the support and encouragement I've gotten. Ever since I started this, people have been very kind, and it helps when you have an exciting team to follow, and we had that this year, and not only Ripley, but Pine Grove. They're both their softball and baseball teams had excellent years. Of course, the girls at Pine Grove winning a state championship. And it was just a great year in Tippah County sports. Blue Mountain girls won their first ever, the first state championship in school history. And what a great run for them. Coach Regina Chills, just an outstanding coach. And, they were the favorite going into the year, and they did it, and that's a hard mantle to carry. If you're the favorite, everybody's gunning for you. Everybody's giving you their best shot. They know that you're the team to beat, and then they beat them all. And the only loss they had all season long was to a 7A school. So they just were outstanding, and my hat's off to them. They're going to a lot of those girls are going to continue their basketball careers, and Coach Chills is going to be in kind of a rebuilding mode now, but she'll have a good product again. And it was just such a great year all around. And, our people at CMH Sports, Steve Bass at Blue Mountain did a great job again once this year. Trevor Wilson at Faulkner, Marcy Bryant at Walnut, and Jeremy and Ryan Simpson helped me out at Pine Grove. So, they all did a great job, and it was just a fun year.
Well, you read my mind. You went straight to, you're not the announcer for every school. You announce for Ripley. Mm-hmm. But explain to our listeners a little bit about how CMH Sports works, how the umbrella works.
Well, of course, we wanted a station or a presence at every school so that, when we were just with the Shark, we could only be in one place at one time. And, fans, there are other games that are going on. Just like this year with baseball, there were a lot of great games, but we couldn't be because they play at the same time. All the playoff schedules the same day, the same night. You can't spread yourself out. And so, we wanted a presence, and we're able to do that through Mixler in having a setup and a person at every game. And then, the Sharks able to pick up whichever game is most appealing to the fans, let's say, or whatever.
Game of the week.
Game of the week. And or if it's in the playoffs, maybe Pine Grove's on the road. Well, maybe a lot of people couldn't get to that game, or it'd be harder to travel, or maybe Ripley was further away than Pine Grove. So you get to choose, and then the fans are able to go back and forth. And I had a lot of people tell you, I'd listen to Ryan for a little bit, and or maybe on one phone I had Pine Grove going, and another device I had the Ripley game going. So they're swapping back and forth. And that's great. That's what we want. That's what we're aiming for, is that wherever you're at, whatever school you're at, if your team's playing, then we're going to try to be there and give you the coverage.
So in the school year that just passed, the 24 school year, we had Blue Mountain went all the way. Pine Grove and Ripley almost went all the way. Well, the Pine Grove softball team did go all the way.
They did. Yeah. Pine Grove softball won the state championship. Coach Justin Jordan winning it in thrilling fashion. They lost the first game. If you remember it down there, they were just a game. They were on the brink of elimination, and they came back and won games 2 and 3 in thrilling fashion. Got walk-off hits in both games. Young Aniston Christian, who we mentioned Jeremy a while ago, it's his daughter, was named MVP, and she's an 8th grader. She's coming in now, will be coming into her freshman year, which is just unheard of. And they were a very senior and junior laden team. She was kind of maybe the only underclassman that was a starter.
Yeah, and I felt for her when she went to bat under such pressure, and I was like, that poor little old girl. But she was not a poor little old girl, was she?
And she's got just a huge heart, and that was talking to her dad. Obviously, we conversed quite a bit, and he was just talking about how much she wanted, and that's the kind of thing that you love to see in an athlete, that they want to be at the plate. The game with Ripley and Newton County, Cooper Davis, and the walk-off home run that has been played over and over, but Cooper,
it was so exciting.
Yeah, but I mean, Cooper wanted that moment, and the home plate umpire told Coach Gafford, I don't know if he's told everybody this, but he said that kid had a look in his eye when he came to the plate that was, he said, almost scary, because he was so laser focused on that moment, and he knew what he needed to do for his team, and he did it. And those kind of moments you'd live for as a broadcaster. You can't anticipate it, but you've got to be ready for it. And so, I still get goosebumps just thinking about it and what happened, because Ripley's one pitch away from not going any further, and then they get up. They're in the state championship in a 0-0 game late and have a chance to win it all. It was just a great season, and and then Pine Grove, what a great run they had. Again, they had some huge hits, some big wins on the road. They get down there. It's right the opposite from Ripley. For them, they lost game 1, came back and won game 2 to force game 3. Ripley won game 1, lost game 2 to, be forced into a game 3. But, just wish that one of them could have pulled it out, and it just wasn't meant to be. But, for me personally, it was a great experience. I had never gotten to, in 31 years, you'd have thought you'd have got to do a baseball, but I'd never done a baseball or softball state championship series, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the experience of it.
You like living in Pearl for a week?
It was fine. I'm a home guy. I like to be home, but I think having 2 teams there made it even better, because I really want to say too, our fans were outstanding, because they supported both teams. Ripley folks were there for the Pine Grove games. Pine Grove folks were there for the Ripley games. Even though there's a rivalry there in other sports and in baseball too, but they still supported each other, because you're a long way from home, and these kids all know each other. They played with each other in little leagues and travel ball and all those things. So they've made friendships, and it's just great to see those communities support each other and be there in those big moments. So I thought our fans were. They traveled well. We had huge crowds for both events, and it was just a lot of fun. I'll look back on that with great memories.
Okay, now, Michael, that's all the time that we have for this week's program, but we haven't even gotten to this year. So will you come back next week and let's talk about the upcoming school year?
I would love to. Yeah, that would be great.
All right, everybody, this has been Michael Harrison, our Tippah County CMH Sports announcer. He is the voice of the Ripley Tigers. He's talked with me today about last year's excitement, and come back next week and we're going to talk about what's coming up this year. That's it for this edition of Heard It on the Shark. Tune in every Tuesday at 11 a.m. to find out what's going on with our local community leaders. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion for an interview, or if you want access to this interview, go to our website, shark1023.com, and click on the podcast tab. Keep it tuned to the Shark 1023. Have a great rest of the day.
The Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area was established by the United States Congress in 2009 and represents a distinctive cultural landscape shaped by the dynamic intersection of Appalachian and Delta cultures. This intersection has produced a powerful concentration of nationally significant cultural icons, including King of Rock and Roll Elvis Presley, First Lady of Country Music Tammy Wynette, blues legend Howlin' Wolf, civil rights icons Ida B. Wells Barnett and James Meredith, America's favorite playwright Tennessee Williams, and Nobel laureate William Faulkner. The stories of the Mississippi Hills are many and powerful, from music and literature to Native American and African American heritage to the Civil War. The Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area supports the local institutions that preserve and share Northeast Mississippi's rich heritage. Begin your discovery of the historic, cultural, natural, scenic, and recreational treasures of our region by visiting the Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area online at mississipphills.org.
This show is made possible by JC Media, LLC in Ripley, Mississippi. JC Media owns the Shark 102.3 Classic Rock FM radio station where the show is hosted, and Sun Bear Recording Studio where the interviews are recorded. We need your feedback and support. If you listen to the podcast on a player like iTunes, Google Podcasts, or Amazon Music, please subscribe to the show and leave us a review. We also have an email in which you can share your feedback. That email is theshark1023@gmail.com. Subscribe to our podcast on your favorite app or stream episodes online at shark1023.com/podcasts. Today's episode was produced by Melinda Marsalis. It was edited by Rick Williams and engineered by Chris Marsalis. The podcast technician is Joyce Grady.